All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. The NFL's touchback rule, has come under scrutiny this season by those who feel that the rule is outdated. The NFL's rule book states that if a ball is fumbled in the field of play and goes forward into the opponent's end zone and over the end line or sideline, a touchback is awarded to the defensive team. Now, there are those who like to see the offensive team get the ball back, but I'm here to tell you that there isn't a doggone thing wrong with this rule. And in my opinion, the NFL should keep it as it is. For the most part, when we see rule changes in the NFL, they are put in place to help the offense and not the defense. The current touchback rule helps the defense because it awards the defense for going out there for the most part and making a big play. And honestly, changing this rule would just shift even more power to the offense. So, like I said, you're rewarding the defensive team for making a big play. Just look at this past Sunday in the divisional round with the Bills and Chiefs with the Mecole Hardman fumble that went through the end zone. And of course, the Bills were awarded a touchback. Now, at that point, we had just seen the Bills botch a fake punt deep in their own territory. Kansas City got the football back, looking to put the game away. And if they had scored a touchdown there, they basically would have salted that contest away. Clearly, Kansas City went on to win that game, but that did change the outlook of that contest. That was a big play right there. Now, just for the sake of argument, you have that fumble by Mecole Hardman, and then let's say you change the rule and say, you know what, we're going to give the Chiefs the ball back at the spot of the fumble. Still a pretty good possibility that Kansas City goes on and scores a touchdown there and salts that game away. So I like the aspect of the rule. It's keeping the offense on its toes. And at the end of the day, isn't it about competitive balance? So my thing is stop trying to make things easier. I mean, you look at the overtime rule in the National Football League and how it's been affected. Call me a purist, call me old school. I think it was better when it was a sudden death situation. But the National Football League over the years has tinkered with their overtime rule. And it started after the 2009 NFC Championship game when the Saints beat the Vikings. And of course, the Saints won the coin toss, marched down the field, got in the field goal range, kicked the field goal, and went on to the Super Bowl, and of course they won the Super Bowl. We saw it again after the 2018 AFC Championship game, where the Patriots won the coin toss, marched down the field, scored a touchdown on their opening possession, and then the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes never got the ball. So my thing is this: I think the overtime rule was better when it's sudden death because I'll tell you like this: the last time I checked, defensive players get a paycheck to play in the National Football League as well. They're not just going out there doing it for free. And if your defense is good enough, you'll go out there and make a play. Just look at the AFC Championship game a couple of years ago, where just a week prior to that, we saw the Chiefs get the coin toss against the Buffalo Bills, march right down the field and score. And when the Chiefs won the coin toss against the Bengals, everybody thought, oh, you know what? Here we go again. The Cincinnati defense rose up, intercepted Patrick Mahomes. They got the ball in the field goal range, and of course, the rest was history. You go back to the 2007 NFC Championship game between the New York Giants and Green Bay Packers. The Packers got the coin toss. They were driving. Brett Favre threw an interception to Corey Webster. The Giants got in the field goal range, and they went on to win that game and, of course, win the Super Bowl. So, again, like I'm saying, stop trying to go out there and make it easier. It's one of those where you already look at it. If an offensive player fumbles the ball and is recovered in the end zone, it's a touchdown for said team. And of course, under 2 minutes, it's one of those where the fumble is returned to the spot of the fumble, a la the Dave Casper rule. So at the end of the day, just leave this rule as is. Rules are in place for a reason. So what's next? I mean, are we going to change the rule for a safety if an offensive player is called for holding in the end zone? Because that is part of the rule. So my question is, will or should the NFL change their touchback rule? Will they change it? I don't know. I'm not on the competition committee. I don't have a say in those aspects, but I think at the end of the day, they shouldn't. Just leave it as it is. If you want to see changes, how about the offensive players do a better job of securing the ball? I know that sometimes they're in a vulnerable position when we see guys trying to lunge out, and leap out to try to put that ball over the pylon or over the goal line for the touchdown. We've seen guys do it with two hands. We've seen guys do it with one hand, but then the defensive players are so skilled and they've gotten so smart to focus in and hone on plain and simple getting that football out. We saw it a couple of years ago in a playoff loss by the Cleveland Browns to the Kansas City Chiefs, a very key play. We saw it earlier this year with the Justin Jefferson fumble against the Minnesota Vikings, CD Lamb against the Detroit Lions, and we could keep going right down the list. But at the end of the day, I don't see anything wrong with this rule. Guys just simply have to get better, and hopefully, the NFL just leaves it as it is. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.